nestle in his arms for a second. Right? You don't have to worry about what's next. This isn't an agenda. You're not just checking this off on the page. This is about being with the living God who loved you enough to die for you. Right? For just a moment, you need to nestle. You need to settle in. You need to become a puddle in his arms. Right? It's not about doing something right now. It's about being a child of God. We just rest in it. We rest in your arms, sweet Jesus. We rest in your arms, Jesus. We rest in your arms. We rest in your arms, Jesus. We rest in your arms, Jesus. We rest in your arms. Yeah. We just take the defenses down and the boundaries and the borders long enough to be able to hear you knocking at the door of our hearts. We say, come in, Jesus. Come into every part of the house, every room. You're welcome here, Jesus, to do in us and through us whatever it is you want. We're yours. Breathe over us, living God. Breathe.
You know, as we were singing that song, there's nothing I hold on to because I'm holding on to you. I once heard a story, and I wanted to share this story very briefly with you because I think it's very appropriate in this moment. It's about a father and a daughter. And this daughter and this father have this loving relationship. And this daughter is given by her father these pearls. They're not real pearls, they're kind of imitation pearls. And the daughter loves these pearls. And every day she would wear them. Every day she would have them. And then one evening, the father and the daughter are sitting by a fireplace, just enjoying time together. And the father says, give me your pearls. And the daughter takes the pearls off and gives them to her father. And her father looks at the pearls and throws them in the fire. And the daughter's absolutely distraught by this, because she loved these pearls. And then he reaches back, and he brings out this beautiful case. And he opens this case up. And he presents to her the real thing, real pearls. And I'm just thinking in this moment, and as we were worshiping here, there are some of us that are holding on to things, just holding on to things, because they're comfortable, because we know them. And God's trying to nudge us, move us away from that. And he's trying to, get your fingers kind of off that thing. Because what he wants to put into your hands is of infinitely more value than you currently have holding on at the moment. So Lord, God, letting go of something's very difficult, especially when we've relied on it. We believed in it even. We built our life around it. But God, especially this year, we want to release that thing, God, so that we can hold on to you a little bit more. So Father God, help us. Lord, lead us and draw us. Show us those areas that we need to let go of so that we can have more of you, Lord God. Amen.
There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to, 'cause I'm holding on to you. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to, 'cause I'm holding on to you. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to, 'cause I'm holding on to you. Wow. Every second Sunday we like to celebrate mission and our desire to be a part of that. To take how God is blessing us and become a blessing. We like to be able to kind of find a segment of people within our church, not to say the rest of you aren't, but just kind of draw attention to each of us, that you're called, that we are outreach, all of us. And so for those of you who are in a service industry, food services, maybe you do janitorial, you're in a different place where you're serving the community. We want to pray that the Lord would give you a sense of commissioning, just to remind you and to remind us all that we are outreach. If you're in one of those areas where you are part of a service industry, would you go ahead and raise your hand? We can pray for you. Anybody here? Yeah? You're a barista at Starbucks? Anybody? Say that's me? Okay, Michaela, stand up. Anybody else? So that's me. Would you go ahead and stand up right where you're at? You guys are all so shy. This is all about blessing. That's all right, isn't it? Okay, those of you who are right near these folks, would you go ahead and gather around them? Pastor Brad's going to pray. This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to be really intrusive for a moment. For the rest of you who are seated, would you go ahead and grab the hand of that person that's next to you? And I want you to pray for that person on your right and your left, even as these folks are praying for those in the food service industry or other areas where they're serving the public. I pray that as you're holding that person's hand, you'd begin to pray over them that God would release them wherever they're at, whatever area of ministry they're in, whatever place they're serving, whatever job, whatever school they're a part of. That God would release them into places of ministry they never imagined were possible. Come on, Brad, would you lead us?
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we come before you. We thank you today for the service that people have done, for whether it's janitorial, whether it's food service, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's retail sales, Lord, whatever it is, whatever task that they're doing in the name of Jesus. Even though it may seem menial, that is God using you in that area to bring about light in those areas. People are walking and hurting. People need a touch from Jesus, and Jesus is using you in that moment. And I pray courage and strength rise amongst you. And I pray the Spirit of God be so strong upon you in those situations that my brothers and sisters, whenever the need arises, that you give a word of courage, you give a word of peace, you share your faith, and not only just your actions, but just who you are and the love and compassion that you have. And whatever field that you work in, that God strengthens you to bring about change in that workplace, in that school, in that environment, wherever it is that the name of Jesus be proclaimed and be made famous by your diligentness to be used as a vessel of God. And Heavenly Father, I pray that even in those down times when they're thinking, why am I doing this or why am I here, that you give them revelation that you are outreach. You are Jesus' hands and feet, that you are the first Jesus people may ever see. So take your job not lightly. Take it as a compliment of who God has called you to be. As a moment of worship. Let your work be worship. Let it be the time where Jesus shines more than he ever had. Let your courage be more than it ever had in that workplace. Let your faith be more than it ever had in that workplace. Let your words be seasoned with salt even more than they ever have in that workplace. And may your holiness shine so much that your co-workers see you and say, the God that you serve is the real God. Because I can see it in your face. I can see it in the way you do it. The God that you serve is the real God. And I worship him how you worship him. And I want to know more about him because of you. Because of what you've done. Jesus shines in my brothers and sisters' lives so much that the world sees who you are through them. And Lord, we proclaim you and we love you and we glorify you in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
You stand and find some folks around you that you know, or those you know, would you welcome them here in the name of the Lord? Let them know that you're so glad they came to church this morning. Remind them that God has something really good just for them.